You can't correct this, you can't go battling against this kind of marketing. But you and I discussing this right now, hey, we can go ahead.
Hi, I'm John.
Draw a few
Welcome back
truth
to
bombs
Mr.
here.
Heart. Today we're talking about some of the major dietary beliefs of 2021. We're in 2021 still, although it's getting near the end of the year. And there's still been some established beliefs. And I mean taken as truth, gospel truth, and infallible. You're not going to go ahead and argue. And one is, I'm going to throw a few of them out at you. Number one is that plant-based anything is healthier than animal-based anything. And this, I'm sorry, but I don't roll with this one. Okay? I don't roll with this one at all. For the simple fact that, well, first of all, when we have it's a marketing strategy. That's what it is. It's a marketing strategy. Companies know that if they say something is plant-based in 2021, you will believe that it's healthier for you and better for you. And therefore, they're going to sell more product. And there certainly is a large portion of our society that does believe that kind of marketing. And therefore, it's been said enough times, and therefore they believe it. And I have heard nonstop, can't tell you how many people just kind of casually mention that they feel good about eating whatever, such and such, and eating that, they know it's healthier for them. They know it's healthier for them. And I hear that and just kind of flows past me now because you can't correct this. You can't go battling against this kind of marketing. But you and I discussing this right now, hey, we can go ahead and throw out a few truth bombs here. I'm all about an omnivore type approach. Okay, if you're going to go and eat any food at all, I'm more of an omnivore and believe that you do need a little bit of everything, not too much of anything. I don't believe in reducing or eliminating completely certain food groups from the diet. If it's an ethical issue, that's one thing. But don't say it's healthier. Tell me it's ethically healthier for you as an individual that you want to eat plant-based because you don't like the idea of animals being raised as our food source. And they're inevitably meant for slaughter to be used as our food source. If that is something that offends you, then of course, say it. But don't say it's healthier when you don't know. You just don't know. Two great examples that pop to mind is, number one, if you're going to eat all plant-based everything all day, day in, day out, and I don't mean eat vegetarian. Notice I'm saying plant-based. Advertisers use those phrases, plant-based. Vegan-friendly, but plant-based. If you're going to go and eat plant-based foods, understand, they're mixing ingredients in there. They're raising the macronutrient profile of those food sources to be higher, much higher in carbohydrates, higher in fats, low in proteins, yet they will call it a protein source. Now, here's the problem with what I just described to you. In those plant-based formulas, a plant-based burger, for example, they do use carbohydrate sources. They do use also, or they do come out with a protein profile or a certain number of grams of protein as well. The problem becomes this. Those plant-based sources, which generally have more carbohydrates in them, as well as some fats, but they raise the carbohydrate profile so high on those meals, plant-based, healthier for you, that you now have a macronutrient profile that's offset, higher in carbohydrates, lower in protein, and the protein amount that you're getting is not bioavailable as the animal sources that are out there. This is fact. This is established, infallible fact, is that the plant-based protein source will not have the same bioavailable profile as the equivalent animal source. The egg has long been established as the number one. The egg or whey protein has both rivaled each other as the number one, top 1-2 sources of the near best amino acid profile for humans. Mother's milk is best, but it's a little impractical once we get past the baby stage, if you know what I mean. So mother's milk has the best amino acid profile for humans. But then we get to the chicken egg, and then moving on down, whey protein, and then also meat, beef, chicken, turkey, fish. They're all well ahead of soy protein. They're all well ahead of the rice and beans combo, which is the legume, with the grain, the rice. So what do we have? When I say the amino acid profile is not as good as the animal-based proteins, the animal-based, a higher percentage of it is bioavailable. So if you ingest 10 grams of it, the egg, for example, you'll digest and absorb nearly 10 grams of the egg. Same thing with whey protein. However, once we get down to the meats, the number drops off to about 80% of that, somewhere between 75 and 85, 90% of it. So depending on the protein source, whether it's beef, buffalo, bison, chicken, turkey, fish, it drops. But way down that list, more in the 60 or less % group, would be the soy proteins, the brown rice and pea protein combination that you see like in a Lenny and Larry's cookie. They're way down there on the list. So the bioavailability of that protein is way down. So therefore, in our plant-based scenario, we have, in the end, not just the fact that it says you're only getting 10 grams of protein in this plant-based product, which is majority carbohydrates and fats, but out of those 10, you're only going to absorb 6 of them, perhaps. Almost half. So half goes down the toilet, half gets absorbed. Terrible. Again, ruining the macronutrient profile for what we might need for fitness levels, for bodybuilding purposes, building muscle, all of that. It's making it even worse. So that's the first thing. Plant-based anything. I give it a thumbs down as it being not true. In 2021, it's a belief that's still held.
Do you want John to be your
personal
personal trainer? Get your training and diet managed online by Mr. America himself. Go to MrAmericaHeart.com. It's in the link right here below in the video's description.